Good morning, all. How are we? Morning, TikTok. Morning, Facebook. Morning, YouTube. Are we all good? It is Tuesday, the 12th of August. Meant to be a hot one today. Meant to be. It's not at the moment. Well, it's nice at the moment. The sun just seems to be creeping out. Yes, it's meant to be a bit of a hot one today. Hydration is key. All right. Let me show you. Hydration is key. We've got the water ready to go. 2 litres of the stuff here. 2 litres in the house. Council pot. This did start off as nice natural spring water. And now I'll just fill these up from the tap. So, yes, get that hydration in. Because it is going to be a warm one. It's quite nice actually up here. It's not, I don't think, it says it's going to be 31 on the app. Yesterday was quite muggy. I'm hoping it's not going to be as cloudy today. And I wouldn't mind having a cheeky half hour in the garden topping the old tan up this afternoon. Well, that's what we're aiming for. I was up early this morning, got a bit of work done, working on doing the progress sheets. They'll all be out shortly. Got weight loss coaching live this afternoon, and I've got the a little shopping vlog updated. It's uploaded. It's ready to go. So that'll be out this afternoon. That'll be with you this afternoon at some point. So I'm trying to get ahead of the game just to give myself a little bit of a what's the word? Give myself a little bit of an hour off this afternoon, as it were. Anyway, what's going on here now? Oh no. Well, that's weird. That's weird. When I just click on my own YouTube live and it kicks up. Why can I not manage my videos? Why is it just putting me on like it's not my channel? I'll view your channel. There you go. Manage videos. Lives. Why is it doing that? I have no idea. It's got me logged in here. I'll have to sort that out later. Right, let me sort this out. Just give me 1 sec. I'll have to do all this later. I've got me Lidl thing uploading, which means I can't then access, and I need to access the live on YouTube. You don't need to know this. It's just part of doing these bits and pieces. Right, that's that sorted. Right, that's it. Now I can access and make sure. Right, we're all good. We're sorted. I got there in the end. Right, let's do a top 5 on TikTok this morning. Tina's in at number 1. Donna's in at number 2. Dodds is in at number 3. Lou is in at number 4. And Kelly C is in at number 5. You're my top 5 this morning on TikTok. Kevin's in on YouTube. Good morning, mate. And Beck's in as well on YouTube. Good morning to you guys. Who else is in on TikTok? Paula, morning. Karen. Kelly C, I'm making homemade bread. Ooh, very nice. This morning. Michael's in. Morning, mate. Kelly C, it's very hot in the south already. Yeah, you always get the better weather than we do. I mean, don't get wrong. You also, would I trade living up north for living down south? No, that's nothing against people that live down south. But just the fact that, cost of living. I think that's the main reason. But I would like that nice weather. Jackie, good morning. Going to be 34. It says it's going to be 27 here in Lancashire, but on the app it says mid-afternoon will feel like 32. Hot. Lise, good morning. It's currently raining here, but very warm. It started raining a bit last night here, actually spitting a little bit. Right, I think I've been through everything. I have. Right. Out at 6 a.m. this morning to get a good start on the steps. Manny's 6-6 so far. Perfect, Kevin. Absolutely belting. Get those steps in. Yeah, this morning's Wales Coaching Live. I know I've moved into 10 o'clock in the summer holidays, and I might even keep that time if, everyone's like, yeah, we're on 8:30 till 9:30. Then we're quite happy just to jump straight onto a live. But this morning, I'm going to push it forward. I'm going to get the dogs out, so I'm going to make a head start on my steps this morning. And because I've got 2 sets of doggos, I have to walk. I walk Betty first, and then I walk the other 2 second. But yeah, I'm going to try and I want to get them out. I want to get the cockapoos in the field for a run before it gets too hot. And I might whip them out again, but if it's sunny, I won't. I won't. They'll just have to accept that they're only going to go out once. They're both actually tucked up. Currently fast asleep after an hour of playing, so that's quite good. But yeah, I'm going to get them out for a walk before it gets too hot. So I'll be on the Weight Loss Coach Live at 10:30, talking all about self-sabotage. I do not know what's going. Well, I kind of know what's going on at the moment, but I've had 2 more clients this morning message me self-sabotage mentality. One around the scales, one around eating. And I've noticed it a lot recently. So that's kind of, I do angle some of my weight loss coaching lives around trends that I'm seeing in clients. So, and I've got no real plan for the self-sabotage. Sometimes when I do something like the self-sabotage, it's really important. I do get a little bit of a plan. I don't really plan my weight loss coaching lives. I just waffle on at stuff at it. But sometimes I'll put some bullet points into place. I'm just going to talk from the heart with the self-sabotage thing. I'm just going to, I don't know where I'll go with it. We'll probably go off on about 10 different tangents as always, but we'll see. We'll see where we get to. Perfect for me as I'm in the gym till 10:15. Very, very good, Tina. That's good timing, isn't it? You can have our weather. We don't want it. It's one of them, isn't it, in this country? I'm literally I was actually having a look yesterday online about having air conditioning fitted in the office, but it is expensive. But my office, although it's been insulated now, it's a bit damp. I've got a bit of mold, green going around the skirting boards, because it is just a single skin brick, and then they've insulated it. But it's not been. I should have really had the brick weatherproofed. You can get it, you can have it coated or something. I didn't, which I'm not too bothered about. But if you've got in central heating, it doesn't matter. But I haven't. But I was thinking of having an aircon unit, air conditioning fitted, because it does get warm. It's not unbearable. When it didn't have any insulation in it, it used to get so hot, ridiculously hot in it. It's not that bad, really, but I have been sort of looking. But today I'm aircon would be a dream, because that's the thing with hot weather in this country. We're just not geared up for it. We're just not. You go to Spain and your hotel room's air conditioned. Everyone's apartments, villas are air conditioned. All the shops are air conditioned. It's just, you get relief from it. You don't in this country. It's just hot. And the worst thing for us is we live in a bungalow. So normally in a house, the downstairs is fairly cool. The upstairs is hot. Our house, because it's a bungalow, we've got roof. And then it just gets so hot. We just had it put in our static game changer. It has a dehumidifier option also. So bang on for your needs. You won't regret it. Kevin, do you know what? Do you know what the worst thing is? I've got in my mum's, because I used to have one. In my mum's garage, I've got an aircon unit. I've literally got an aircon unit that I bought. It was 250 quid. And I bought it when I PT'd in here because the gym got so hot. But it's one of them where you hang the pipe out of a window, and it's all right. It actually doesn't do a bad job, and it'd do a better job in here now because it's conditioned. I might even go and get it. I'm tempted now. I might even nip round to my mum's and go and grab it. I'm thinking of it, but I want a proper unit for, one that you can just turn on and off. Say dehumidifier. I think that's why I get a lot. It's very moist in here. Moist. People don't like that word. But that's a dehumidifier as well. But yeah, getting one fitted. I don't know how much I've been looking into it. I don't know how much they are. Are they about a couple of 1,500 quid or something? I'm not sure. I know they're not cheap. If anyone's got any places that fit air conditioning units that's not you might yeah, 1,500 quid nil, you wish. I don't know. Let me know. Does anyone know? Let me know how much they cost. Right, let me scan. I'm if it's $1,000, I'm I might get one fitted in the. I'm do you get one fitted in the house? Would it add value to the house? Yeah, there are houses there. Just not what just one in the living room, just so you can get a reprieve from the heat. Do we really need it in this country? And then how much does it cost on electric to run? That's another thing. Wait till winter and aircon will be cheaper. John, I like it. You're absolutely right. There'll be some deals on, won't there? We pay 1,500 quid fitting. There you go. 1,500 quid. That's all that. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not cheap. I'm not saying it's cheap, but I'll just end up living in here if I've got it in here, and it's kind of like, oh yeah, just go in the office where it's freezing. Anyway, looking forward to the self-sabotage talk. It's a really important topic. It really, really is. But there's so many. Why I'm not planning it, I'm just going to talk, and it's just going to go off on all different bits and pieces, is because there's so many different elements to self-sabotage. There's elements of self-esteem. There's elements of approach. There's some people, there's things like the scales that can cause self-sabotage. There's things like lack of energy that can cause self-sabotage. Like I say, low confidence, low self-esteem, fear of the unknown. There's so many different, but it all ends up in the same route where we just fall off the wagon. That's where it all, and what we've got to try and do with self-sabotage is we've got to try and be aware of it and nip it in the bud before it happens, because for so many people, it happens subconsciously. Like, I get so many messages and I'll say to clients, I'm like, this is classic self-sabotage mentality. And people are like, I don't think it is. People fight it. They literally get like quite defensive over it. Because like, no, I don't think it is. I think it's this, this, and this. And I'm like, I've seen it a million times, and it's just like, it's like getting on the scales every day and seeing daily fluctuations on the scales. It's just daily fluctuations. And I can talk till I'm blue in my face about them, but unless people accept them, I've had a client this morning and, it's Tuesday. It's been warm. And she started a week last Monday, and she messaged me this morning saying, I weighed myself 2-3 days in, like Thursday or Friday, and I've lost 1.5 kilos. And I'm like, right, that's, over 3 pounds. But since then, the scales have been creeping up. And today I've weighed myself and I weigh more than when I started. What's going wrong? So what's going wrong is you're getting on the scales all the time and it's affecting your mentality, right? It's over the weekend, we tend to give ourselves a bit more food freedom, certainly with the way I coach, and she's on my one-to-one plan, right? So, what? You've given yourself a bit more food freedom maybe Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and the scales have creeped up because of an increase of food weight, water retention. And then you might have left them alone Monday. You've managed to resist them Monday, but then you got on Tuesday and it was hot yesterday and you might have been a bit dehydrated. Like, if I got on the scales now, I had a great week last week. I nailed it. If you watch my weekly weight loss log, I absolutely nailed it. I always say this, there's no such thing as a perfect weight loss journey, but we can have the odd perfect weight loss week. And last week for me was like my perfect weight loss week. I banked plenty of calories during the week. I had 0 hunger days banking those calories. And when I say 0 hunger days, I don't mean I didn't feel hungry. I do. I feel hungry now, right? But that's just natural hunger in terms of once I've eaten, it had gone away. It's just, you should feel hungry. You should feel hungry 2 to 3 times a day. When you've eaten, though, that should be gone. What I mean by hungry days was I didn't have any days last week where I was struggling to contain my hunger. Like, right, 10 a.m, I'm hungry. Yeah, it's breakfast time. Eat my breakfast, sorted. 1 o'clock, I'm hungry. Yeah, it's lunchtime. Eat my lunch, sorted. 6 o'clock, I'm hungry. Yeah, it's tea time. Eat my tea, sorted. Maybe have a bit of an evening snack within my calories, go to sleep, done. It was like that every day last week. It's dead straightforward while I was banking calories. I never really get hungry days at the weekend because they're higher calorie days. So even if I did get hungry days, I've got the calories to sort it out. It's during the week where those hungry days can affect things a little bit. But I did last week, perfect. Saturday, didn't overeat, didn't eat for the sake of eating, had a couple of extra bits and pieces that were a bit more calorie dense and less nutritionally dense, but I ended up with 3,100 calories, just 500. I banked 2,400 calories. And then Sunday, I always love having Sunday as my higher day. It doesn't always happen. And then Sunday, we went out I had a great yogurt bowl in the morning. We went out for Sunday lunch. I had a pint, just one, right? 1 pint of Moretti, 1 pint of Diet Coke. A lovely pork belly Sunday lunch. Shared a piece of cheesecake with Rach. Really, really nice. Couple of little treats in the afternoon. Just had a bacon butty for me tea. No real good nutrition going in. There was quite a bit of veg on the Sunday roast, I suppose. And I had 4,100 calories. Ended up 600 calories under. My steps were great. Hit the gym a good few times. It was just a great week, right? And I had weeks like that January, February, March, every week was like that. Bang, 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 bang. This time of year, it's not quite as easy as that, right? For different, that's just personally for me, you know. This week, I'm possibly going to have a maintenance week. I'm not really planning on it being a maintenance week, but if it ends up there, then it will be a maintenance week. And what I mean by that is, you know, we're going out with some friends on Saturday. It's going to be a little bit of a boozy one. Nothing like, I don't want it to be a big one, and it won't be, because we're doing a 5 till 10. That's it. And we're eating in the middle of it. But there's still going to be a few drinks. Am I going to be a bit tipsy? 100%. Will that mean a little bit of a hangover day Sunday? Yeah, probably. So, you know, I'm probably going to do 4,000 or 5,000 calories on Saturday, right? And I'm probably going to do 4,000 calories on Sunday. So I'm going to be at a 9,000 calorie weekend. Now, if I bank 2,500 this week with my daily average, that's going to give me 7.5. So I'm probably going to go about 1,500 into my ideal deficit. I could go a bit more, but I'm not too bothered. When we go over our calories, our ideal deficit in a week, if it's planned in and you've got it straight in here, then, but that's the same with anything, isn't it? It's the same with the scales. If you're in your mindset here, you're like, yeah, I understand. You know, I understand that the scales fluctuate. I know they go up and down. I know they're probably going to weigh quite a bit more on a Monday, Tuesday after the weekend than I did last Thursday, Friday, or last Tuesday, Wednesday, or whatever. Just is what it is. But I also know that if I weigh most Friday, like every other Friday, or even if you weighed every Friday, yeah, I don't recommend weighing weekly, really. I have got a few clients weighing weekly, but if you've got an unhealthy relationship with the scales, like any unhealthy relationship, you need to step away from it. I always use the analogy of comparing an unhealthy relationship with an unhealthy like partner. Like you're going out with someone and the relationship's a bit unhealthy, you know, and it's grown a bit toxic, and you know you might have kids together. It's a tough one, I get it, but then you split up, and the best way to get away from a toxic relationship is, you know, you split up, you go your separate ways, but you're still going to see that partner every couple of weeks because, you know, kids, you might see them every week because you might have the kids one week, then your partner might have the kids the next week, however you decide to split it up. And for the first few months of doing that, things could still stay toxic, but hopefully over time, from stepping away from that relationship, you know, you'll be able to get to a situation where, you know, you can actually both be in each other's company without ripping each other's heads off. 12 months down the line, hopefully you'll be able to be in each other's company where you can actually have a good civil conversation. Another 12 months down the line. Do you see what I mean? Because you've stepped away from that relationship, and that toxicity, is that even a word, hopefully, of being in that relationship will get less and less and less the more you step away from it. Once the relationship's kind of healed, it might never go back to the way it was. Once it's healed, you can probably talk to each other every day or see each other every other day, and your mindset's going to be all right. You know, it's not going to be too much of an issue. But until you get to that point, you need to, and the scales are the same. The scales are an abusive relationship. Blue Eye Floozy, how often would you recommend weighing yourself? I'm stuck in the cycle of every other day, and it's making me sad. The further you step away from the scales, the more chance you're going to see what we call a positive result in your eyes. What is a positive result on the scales for most people? A loss, right? Now, personally, for me, I see a maintain as a positive result, right? And in some ways, I don't see a gain as a positive result. I get people that they go on holiday for a week, they weigh in 3 or 4 days after getting back from holiday, and they're 2 pounds heavier. Positive result. To go on holiday and just weigh and gain a couple of pounds, even though you've been back for it, is a positive result, right? I always try to see the positives out of everything, but most people with scales see a positive result as a loss, right? The further you go, the further you weigh apart, the more chances are you're going to see a loss. You know, if you weighed every 6 months, right? I'm not saying you need to do this, but if you did weigh every 6 months and you're consistent on your journey, one little dog has a bark, everyone gets it. Oi! Get in here now. What are you doing? Don't care. They don't care. No respect for me whatsoever. Blossom! Get here now. What are you doing? Come tell me. What's going on? So I'm sorry, Dad. Is that telling him off? No. What I'm saying, yeah. So if you weigh every 6 months and you're consistent, I coach £1 a week weight loss, right? On average. Can you lose more than that? Yeah. But for most people, that is the target. Any more is a bonus, right? Any less, unless I've told you it's going to be a bit less, that's when I step in as a coach and we work on things to improve your consistency and whatever, right? If you weighed every 6 months and lost £1 a week, you'd be 2 stone down, right? And if you got the scales, if you got the scales in 1st of January and you weighed 228 pounds, and then you got on scales 1st of July and you weighed 200 pounds, you'd be happy, right? You might be like, I've been at this 6 months, but you'd still be to see that 28 pounds gone. You'd be like, wow, that's all right. Right now, I'm not saying you to weigh every 6 months because scales are a good way of just keeping on top of things. I get my clients to weigh every 2 weeks, right? And I do that for a number of reasons. But one of the main reasons is 2 weeks, you're going to have enough time to lose enough body fat where fluctuations, if you weigh on the most accurate day of weighing, which is generally a Friday or a Saturday morning, right? So what I'm trying to say there is, I just said about a client this morning weighed today. Your weight gets more accurate as you go through the week, especially if you're following my plan. Because most people tend to be a bit more calorific at a weekend. They tend to consume a bit more food at the weekend. And that increases average food weight, average water retention in the body. Monday to Friday, most of us are in that 9 to 5 kind of routine where, even if we're not in a 9 to 5 working routine, we just tend to be a lot more routine Monday to Friday because, not many people are going out Saturday night, Sunday night, going out for meals on a Tuesday, right? So, and as we are in our routine and we stick to our calories a bit better, maybe banking a few calories, we're better with hydration. We're not eating things that necessarily might cause a bit of excess water retention. Our average food weight, water weight, that drops. So the fluctuations that we might see more Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, they get less and less as we go through the week. I did this from and I figured this out from my own journey, and I started weighing myself on a Saturday morning, right? And I just sort of noticed that, I've been through this. I've weighed myself daily. I've weighed myself every other day. I've gone periods where I've weighed myself every 6 months. I've done a lot on this journey, but I got into a habit of weighing myself weekly. And I just sort of found that weighing on a Saturday morning, I just ended up seeing a lot of losses on a Saturday morning. I'll be honest with you, I didn't really know the reason why. But I'd look back and I used to write down, when I used to weigh myself on old-fashioned like bathroom scales, I used to write down my weight. And I'd be like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And I'd go through and I'd be like, some Mondays I did weigh myself Sundays normally, right? And I sort of like, I could see these fluctuations on a Monday, whereas on a Saturday, I was like, I've lost 10 weeks in a row weighing on a Saturday, whereas the last 10 Mondays, I've had 5 losses and 5 gains, or I've had 3 maintains, 2 losses and 5 gains. So let's just weigh Saturdays. That was it. That was honestly it, right? That's why I started to weigh towards the end of the week. I didn't realize at the time it was because what we do over the weekend can cause fluctuations in the body, or more fluctuations in the body. That was it, right? That was it. I just noticed this pattern and I was like, right, if I see more losses on a Saturday, Saturday's the day I'm weighing, right? And then, so I used to weigh weekly on a Saturday, and I used to see a hell of a lot more losses than anything else. When I started one-to-one coaching, I wanted to go into one-to-one coaching at a price point where people could afford to pay it. Everyone. There was no boundaries with money. And because of that, I needed to work with a lot of people. So that's kind of then why I moved to fortnightly check-ins, right? And I started experimenting with this myself. And again, weighing fortnightly weighing weekly on a Saturday, I probably saw 7 losses, 2 maintains, and a gain. Great. 70% positive results on the scales. I then moved to fortnightly check-ins with my clients. And for me personally, I was just seeing loss. Unless I went on a holiday or something like that, I just saw more losses. And then weighing fortnightly allowed me to work with 2 groups of clients. Well, so I do check-ins every week, and that keeps the price point down. So that was another reason for moving to fortnightly check-ins. But over time, it's also worked out that, like I say, it just gives, if you're losing £1 a week, right, then if you weigh every 2 weeks, you're going to see £2 of fat loss. And even if you see, if you weigh weekly and you see £1 of water retention gain and £1 of fat loss, you're going to maintain. If you weigh every 2 weeks and you see £2 of fat loss and £1 of water retention gain, you're still going to see a loss, right? And generally losses, it can be a little bit frustrating. I do get clients like, I thought I'd lose a bit more. But for most of the time, when my clients see a loss, they understand that a loss is still a good result. That's my first tip for improving relationships on the scales. Once people are happy, whether they've lost £0.5 or they've lost £3, they're like, I'm happy. That's my first sign that the relationship with the scales is changing, So if you've got a really bad relationship with the scales, move to now you might be like, you just said there, Saturdays were the best day. Generally, Saturdays were, if you don't do anything on a Friday, Saturday's your best day. Why do I not get my clients on a Saturday? Because it's check-in day. And just to be a little bit selfish with I don't want to sit on my Saturday for hours and hours on end doing check-ins. Right? I love them and I love seeing my clients' results, but I want a bit of time off. I need a bit of time for myself. So we moved to Friday. Friday's just a good compromise. And to be honest with you, the difference between Fridays and Saturdays is minimal. It really, really is. It really, really is minimal. I want to go for an Indian on Friday. How much would you estimate? Curry, half garlic rice, half chips, half a garlic naan. Again, Kevin, it's a little bit portion sizes. We've got an Indian round here called Michael's, and the naan breads are like the size of a guitar, and they hang them off the thing, right? But then the local one we go to, the naan breads are like probably a 9-inch pizza size, which is great. So I would say if you're going for something like that, half garlic rice, half chips. If you go for a curry that's not cream based, so it's not korma or a tikka masala or a butter chicken, if it's more bhuna or do piazza or madras, that's a bit more thingy based, you're probably going to be 1,500 calories, maybe a touch more, but I think 1,500 calories should cover it. You can ask, depending on what Indian not a lot of Indian restaurants cook with ghee because it's expensive. A lot of them use vegetable oil. You can ask them to go light on the oil in the curry, right? And they'll do that for you, right? I do that. In fact, we go to an Indian restaurant near us. It's not my local one, and there's always like a bit of a pool of oil on top of the curry. It's a bloody tasty curry, but I always ask them, I say, can you just go a bit light on the oil, right? And they'll do that for me. So and just break it down a little bit. Half chips, you're probably talking large McDonald's fries, 400 calories. Rice, 350 calories. That's 750. Your curry's probably gonna, if you go if you go tomato based, and you go chicken, right, or prawns. Lamb again is going to be much more fattier meat, so it'll be more calorific. But chicken with 500 calories, and then a bit of your naan bread. So I maybe overestimated the chips a little bit there. But you're going to be about 1,500 calories, something like that. Curries are calorific; they just are. You can't, if someone was like, right, now you're going to go to a curry house and you want to eat like relatively calorie free, not calorie free, but calorie controlled. For me, it would be poppadoms and chutneys, chicken tikka starter, chicken tikka dough piazza, plain rice, and 2 chapatis. That'd be 1,500 calories. But obviously, you get a lot more food there because you get a full rice, full curry, 2 chapatis, chicken tikka starter, and poppadoms and chutneys. And that'd be about 1,500 calories. But curry's just hard because you get a lot of food, don't you? You get a lot of courses. But yeah, Kevin, I don't think you're going to be a million miles away. 1,500 calories, something like that. 1,600 calories. Especially if you're asking with your curry, you just go a little bit light on the oil. Right? You won't be a million miles away. Curry for Iceland, good calories. Yes, very good. You might have seen my post, James, over the weekend. Lynn's in, good morning. Love a naan bread. Yeah, I love a naan bread. Naan bread up here. If you're in Lancashire, it is a naan bread. If you call it a naan bread, you will get run out of town with pitchforks and fire. Right, it's a naan bread. Yeah. I'm loving my losses at the moment. Keeps me motivated, slow and steady. Michelle, you're doing really good at the moment. You generally are really, really good. And I won't discuss why Michelle's doing really, really good, but there is a reason for it. There is a reason for it. So yeah, you do really, really good. Morning answer. Message yesterday. No, James, I'm going to message you back today, mate. Yeah, there is. I've sorted it out. I'll message you back after this. I'm the same Monday, Tuesdays are higher, but Saturdays is perfect for me. What's that weighing? Yeah, generally. And again, I always weigh more on a Tuesday than I do on a Monday. Tuesday is my highest weighing day. Don't ask me why. I tell you why it is. I do know why. Do ask me why. Why do I weigh more on a Tuesday than a Monday? Because you think, oh, Monday, you're getting back into your routine. Monday, I'm can be quite dehydrated from the weekend. So anything I drink on a Monday soaks into my body. And it's not, and even if I've not drunk alcohol, like I had 1 pint over the entire weekend this weekend, so that wouldn't have caused any major dehydration. Did have a few more refined carbs, that doesn't cause dehydration. I'm just not as consistent with my fluids over the weekend, so I just get a little bit more dehydrated. So on a Monday, I soak up some water. On a Tuesday, that my rehydration is starting to kick in. I can feel it now. I've done one of these already this morning. This is my second one, so I'm a litre of water down. I'm sat here now, I've got 25 minutes and I need a wee. Right, I can feel it coming on. So today I will start flushing out my water retention. Tomorrow, Wednesday is generally a very wee day, very weeing day. I do a lot of peeing on a Wednesday. So that's it. And then Thursday is normally a decent day for me weighing. Friday is normally a good day. Saturday is normally a good day. Right? There's very rarely much difference, you know. Tony, good morning. There is nothing better than a kebab on a drunken Saturday night. No, I do enjoy I like a kebab sober, me. I actually prefer one sober than beer. I love a takeaway drunk. Can't beat it. Right? You genuinely can't beat it. But I love a kebab. And when I say I love a kebab, we've got a couple of kebab shops around here that is good quality. It's not like, Cyprus that I go to in Polton, they make their own doner meat. It's still fatty cuts of lamb, and it'll still be cheaper cuts of lamb. Of course, it's doner meat, but they make their own doner meat, so the quality's better. Same with Armex in Lytham, and same with the Armenian Kebab House in Blackpool. They're like proper, authentic Turkish kebab shops. It's still kebab meat, right? It's not going to be like neck or anything like that, lamb but you obviously probably get a bit of offal and stuff in there. But that's where the flavour comes from. But the quality is really good. So I do enjoy one of those. No kebab for me this week. We're going for a Mexican on Saturday night. Mexican. So the plan for Saturday is we were going to go out at 3. Right? We were going to go. Now that's an early start, but we were planning on going out at 3, eating at 6. Finish food for about 7:30, and then go out for a couple of drinks. Home for 9. I'm a day drinker, me. I don't like being out at night time. When all the prats come out at night time, all the kids go out at time, I'm on my way home and in front of the telly, getting ready to watch Match of the Day. Right, that's my perfect Saturday. Anyway, we've had all this planned, and then last week, Rose was like, "We're not doing anything on the 16th, are we?" I was like, "Yeah, we're going out with John and Hannah for the afternoon. Got a hair appointment. What time? 1:45. We're going out at 3. She's like, well, we're not now, are we? It's like, no. So we pushed it back to 5. So we're starting at 5. Which is, so it is, rather than being home at 8:30, 9, it's going to be 10 o'clock, which is fine. I'll push it a little bit longer. But we have said we might come back to the village after food and have a couple around here rather than staying. in Poland where we're going. But we're on a Mexican. I've already looked at the menu. Does anyone else do that? Why have I looked at the menu? Have I looked at the menu to plan my eating to be calorie controlled? No, I'm not going to be calorie controlled this weekend. It's in my mindset not to be. It's the plan not to be. So I'm going to track. I'm going to be as accountable as possible. But I'm not like, right, I'm going out. Sometimes I will do that. Like Kevin said, I'm going out for a curry Friday night. How many calories do I need to bank? Or have you got any options you think that would be lower calorie? Yeah, go for a tomato-based curry. Saturday, I'm just going to go out and enjoy myself. I'm going to track the best I can. This is Mexican we go to is absolutely banging. So, and we tend to get the same thing. Well, I do. I get the mixed meat, like fajitas, which are ace. Comes on a big sizzling platter, prawns, chicken, and steak. Get your wraps, you get your pico de gallo and your sour cream and your guacamole and all this, that, and the other. Absolutely belting. And we'll just get a main. I don't think we'll do... well, we might get nachos, like a sharing nachos to start, but they'll just be on the table anyway, and then we'll get a main. So food's not going to be too bad, but Mexican normally is pretty calorific anyway. Sour cream, cheese, oil, you know. It's not the healthiest country in the world, is it Mexico? And then it's just drinks and stuff like that. But it just is what it is, you know. It's and when you've got a night out planned or a day out planned, something you've not done with friends for a long time, you can give yourself that little bit of freedom. You know, you generally can. It's absolutely fine. I've maintained my weight for 6 weeks, which I'm happy with. That's all right, Stefan. Maintaining isn't bad at all. You know, and then when you're ready, you just kick your journey back in. That's what we do. You know, I've gone through periods of maintaining and stuff. As long as it's in the plan, that's it. Watching from Cape Verde. I've never been to Cape Verde. Somewhere I do fancy going. Me and Rachel looking for next April. I fancy Mexico, but it's really expensive at the moment. I'm probably going to wait till Black Friday to look at it. But like, we only tend to go for a week. And because it's a 10.5-hour flight and I'm 6'5", we always go premium with TUI, which they're premium. When we first started doing it, it's not cheap, but it was like 150 quid each, like £300 each. Like, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that's cheap. It's not. But when you're flying 10.5 hours and you're 6'5", and we just make it part of the holiday. We love it. But now it's just gone. It's like over 1,000 quid. I'm just not willing to pay it. So we're looking at possibly doing Cape Verde in April. Any recommendations on hotels in Cape Verde? Let me know. It looks very, very nice. Let me see. If your analytics say Poland viewers, it's me. Are you on holiday? And as I've just booked my second trip away to Poland, only going 2 days, I'm still not going to miss a live. Absolutely fine. I've only been to Poland once. I went to Warsaw on a stag do 2 years ago. No, it wasn't. It was last year. Well, last year, 2024. I went last year on a stag do. It was, we went to Warsaw. Not a lot there. It's just a capital city. We did it because it was cheap. We literally went on Skyscanner. Where's the cheapest place to go on holiday that's also cheap while you're there? And it was cheap. It was really cheap while we were there. But I've never been. I'd love to do like Krakow or any other touristy bit. In Warsaw was all right. Like, there was a few bits to see. We went to the old town and we went and shot some guns and we did a few other bits and pieces. But yeah, there's not a lot else there. Anyway, let me scan up and see what's going on. I'm out for a curry with the girls Friday too. I'm planning on a chicken balti, smaller portion. Okay. Yeah, again, do you know what? Eating out and weight loss. I have this is one of my big philosophies. Look, if you're eating out a lot, or it's a bit of an impromptu one, or you've got I've got Friday and Saturday night out, and you're going to make a compromise, that's fine. If you're going out for a night, and again, if you're someone that goes out week in, week out for nights out, look, again, there's got to be some compromise. But like me on Saturday, the last time we had a day out with a few beers with some friends and let our hair down a little bit, I can't even remember in this country. We've not done it this year. I mean that. Like, we've been for Sunday lunch with some friends and we've been out for tea with friends, but it's been I've drove or Rachel's drove or something like that. Actually, you know, a day out, meeting up, few drinks, taxi in, taxi out, taxi back, like a proper nice day out. We've not done it this year. So I don't really want to make any compromises. Well, the compromise I'm going to make is this week. I'm going to have a smaller calorie deficit. And that's why I'm not pre-planning my eating too much. I'm going to go with the flow, get what I fancy, get drinks. I'm going to try and be as accountable as possible, try and track as best as I can. But that's just it. Now, like I say, if then like the next weekend, it's Rachel's nephew's birthday, and we've said we'll pick him up. We're going to take him to the Trafford Centre. He can do what he wants, sort of thing. We'll probably go to the Nerf Park or go Legoland or something like that. We're going to take him to the Lego shop to get his birthday present and a few other bits and pieces. Then I will make some compromises, and it'll be like, what do you want to eat? He'll only want McDonald's. That's all he wants to ever eat, his chicken nuggets. But like, I'll end up, if we does that, I'll end up going to like one of the Vietnamese places or the Thai places, and I'll get one of the ramen bowls at 600 calories. So next week I will, even though we're going to go out for food, I will be a lot more calorie controlled. So that's sort of the balance. And then the weekend after that, we're in Benidorm. I won't be calorie controlled. I'll do what I want again. So, and that's, it's just finding that balance. But, it's one of them. Can you be a bit more calorie controlled? So when I'm like, what I'm trying to say there is when I'm going out for a meal, I kind of like the compromise I might make is just having a smaller calorie deficit that week rather than compromising, or I'll pre-plan and bank the calories for it, a bit like Kevin's doing. So if I'm like, yeah, I want a curry on Saturday night, or Friday night, and I want a chicken korma, I want a chicken tikka masala. I know it's not the lowest calorie curry, but it's one I enjoy, so I'm going to have it. I want garlic naan. I want chips. I want rice. I want a special starter. If you want that, that's fine. But that just might mean, right, I'm going to bank calories for the week. And what you've also got to remember is when you go out for tea, you would have calories for your tea anyway. So you've got to take that into account. So let's say you were going to an Indian restaurant on Friday night and what you were going to have was 2,000 calories. Well, you normally have 800 calories. Well, I normally have 800 calories for my tea anyway, between 700 and 800 calories. So I'm only going to need an extra 1,200, right? So it's not like, so Kevin there, and I'm saying, Kevin, if you ask for a bit less oil in your curry, you have half a garlic rice, half a garlic naan, and half a chips, right? And you're at 1,500 calories. If you normally have 700 calories for your tea anyway, it's only another 900 calories on top of what you'd normally have. You've got to take that into account. Now, if you're someone that's like, no, I'm having breakfast, lunch, tea, going out for a few beers, then we're going for a curry on the way home, that's different. But if the meal you're going out for is part of your main meal, it's like going out for lunch. I might go out for lunch and it might be 1,000 calories. I normally have 500 calories for lunch, 600 calories for lunch anyway. So it's only another 400 to 500 calories extra that I'm having. It's just a bit more of a calorific meal. So again, it's like Saturday night. I tend to always have a 1,500 to 2,000 calorie tea Saturday night, or I'll have one of those over the weekend. That's going to be this Saturday. It's just going to be in a restaurant rather than a takeaway or something like that. Where the extra calories for me is going to come in on this weekend is drinking alcohol, right? And then the effects of that on controlling my calories on Sunday. That's the issue. If we were going out Saturday night with friends and I was designated driver and I wasn't drinking any alcohol, I'd go and smash 2,000 calories worth of Mexican in, not even think about it. It would just be part of my ideal deficit. Does that kind of make sense? It's hard to bank calories when you're on 1,700. Well, yeah, but what we have to remember is everyone's calorie allowance is there for a reason. My calorie allowance is 2,600 calories a day, not because I'm greedy. I'm like, over 18 stone. I average over 11,000 steps a day. I train in the gym 6 days a week. That's my energy. I burn 24,000 calories a week, right? If your calorie burn is if your calorie allowance is 1,700 calories a day, right? And you're doing this healthily and sustainably, that means your calorie burn is 2,200 calories a day, which is just over the average for an average adult, which means you don't have any weight to lose or very minimal weight to lose. So if that's your case, you only need 1,700 calories, which means that during the week you can bank 200. Like I can go and blow 2,000 calories on a curry because that's my appetite. If I only burn 2,000 calories, 2,200 calories a day, and my deficit's 1,700 a day, then I don't need 2,000 calories of curry because I don't burn that much energy. I don't like, Rachel burns less calories than me. She doesn't eat as much as me. She can still go out for a curry, right? But she wouldn't, she wouldn't eat as much as me. Now, this is where people go wrong. Are you over restricting yourself? Should your allowance be 1,700 a day? It's very, for most people, if you've got a weight issue, it's very low, So 1,700, and then it's a case of, well, how much do you move? People always say to me, you're so lucky with your calorie allowance. There's no luck about it, right? I like to eat a lot of food, right? So because of that, I do 11,500 steps a day 11,000 steps a day on average, and I train 6 days a week. Now, I always say exercise isn't the be all and end all and I don't train to burn calories. I train for my mental health, but there is still a small element of that, and I'd rather put all that effort into moving and have a much more free calorie allowance and consistently lose weight that way. So, I'm 12 stone, 10 to 20,000 steps Monday to Friday, 10,000 weekend. Well, you're over restricting yourself time to float then. That's your issue why you've got 1,700 calories a day, right? You're over restricting yourself. If you're 12 stone and you're hitting, let's say you said 10 to 10, let's say you're doing, if you were on plan with me, you'd be on 2,000 calories a day. With that movement and at that current weight, you'd be on 2,000 calories a day, and you'd lose a pound a week on average. So and that's healthy, sustainable fat loss. And 2,000 calories a day isn't hard. So if you can't say it's hard to bank calories on 1,700 calories a day if you're over restricting yourself. And that's what I've been told. Maintenance, so it's wrong. It's wrong. I don't care who's told you that. Online calorie calculator or someone that doesn't know what they're doing. It's wrong. And that's where people go wrong working with people that don't understand how weight loss works or haven't maybe got the experience that I've got. But if you're doing at 12 stone, if you're doing that much movement, you're telling me I do 10 to 20,000. So what? You average 15,000 Monday to Friday. That's 75,000 steps a week there. Then you do 10 Saturday, 10 Sunday. That's 95,000 steps a week. That's what, let's say you did 85,000 steps a week. That's averaging over 12,000 steps a day, right? You'll burn 2,500 calories a day, no problem, right? 3 days a week, 20,000. So you're over restricting yourself. And if you ever over restrict yourself with calories, you are going to find it harder to bank, because what you've got to, you'll need 1,700 calories a day with the amount of calories you burn. So you will find it hard to bank. So stop doing weight loss wrong. That is my honest answer with that. So many people do weight loss wrong, right? So many people take poor advice. So many people use free online There's a reason why they're free. They're not very good, So we always have to take this into account, Someone that's 12 stone that does that much movement with me will be on 2,000 calories a day, right? They'd have 1,750 calories a day Monday to Friday. They bank 1,250 calories over a week. They'd have 2,750 calories Saturday and 2,500 calories Sunday, and they'd lose a stone every 3 months, It wasn't a free one. It's from a well-known creator. Well, they're not very good at what they do. It's that simple. It is that simple, because I've got loads of people that do the movement that you do that are your current weight, that aren't over restricting themselves, that haven't got an overly restrictive calorie allowance, and I'd ask that whoever this well-known creator is, I'm 5'3" too. Perfect. So you're not even, so your average height for a female as well. Well, 5'4" is average height for a female, So yeah, it's ask that well-known creator why your calories are so restrictive if you're struggling to bank calories for the weekend. That's what I'd be doing. I'd be tapping into it. Yeah. I'm currently on 1,842 calories a week. I'm not as active as that, and I lose my £1 a week, 100%. Half to £1 a week. You're not eating 1,700 calories a day, then time to flow. If you're doing that much movement and you're eating, and again, it doesn't surprise me that you're eating more than what you think you're eating. And again, that's hard work, right? There's absolutely, you're telling me your calorie allowance is 11,900 calories a week. You're doing that much movement at 12 stone, and you're not you're struggling to be in a 3,500 calorie a week deficit, no chance. Absolutely no chance. So what is this well-known creator doing to improve your accuracy and consistency with your tracking of your calories? Because you're not eating 11,900, right? You're eating, I've currently lost 4 stone over 2 years, right? So you are probably eating more than 2,000 calories a week on average. So you're not being consistent with sticking to those calories. Is the reason why you're not being consistent with sticking to those calories, right? Yeah, is it a you problem or is it a 1,700 calorie a day problem, right? So there's issues there. There's issues there. If you're, I mean, I'll work it out now, right? Look, I charge for calorie allowances. I don't do things free, but I will literally, I don't know your age, but age doesn't make a massive, honestly, age doesn't make a massive difference, right? But I would say at 1,700 calories a day, you should be in an 800 calorie a day deficit. 800 calories a day, well, you are. It's not you should be, you are. It's 5,600. So if you were eating 1,700 calories a day, right, and you're eating 1,700, if you're doing what you'll say you're doing, weight, height, movement, 1,700 calories a day, you should be losing 1.5 pounds a week. You should be losing 6 stone in a year, not 4 over 2. So that's when we need to, ask why there's so much inconsistency with you sticking to your calories. Is it because they're too low? Is it just like you said there? Sometimes you go to maintenance. So is it your own issue that, I'm just not that consistent, but I'm not bothered. I'm quite happy just chipping away, right? But there's issues there. There always, there is, right? So, but this is where when you work with a coach, whoever this well-known creator is, they should be answering these. Not I should be answering them free for you on a live. They should be sorting this out. What are they saying about, what's going on? Yeah. I've lost 65 pounds on 1,650 calories, 10,000 steps a day since June last year. It's about mindset and training. I'm saying it's about consistency. What would you say my deficit and maintenance would be? Like I say, I charge for calorie allowances. I don't do it free. And I do that for a couple of reasons. Number one, it's my job. And number two, insurance. Right? I give anyone that gets calorie allowances, you're giving someone a guide on what they should be putting into their body that can affect their physical and mental health. If they do that and they have any issues from it, you're liable as a coach, right? So as soon as someone signs up to my community, joins my one-to-one plan or whatever, right, they're covered through my insurance. So then I can guide you on nutrition. I can guide you on calories. I'm more than happy to do that. When I do these lives, I give very generic information out. I always cover my own back, right? Because, and don't get me wrong, what are the chances of someone, proving the evidence that I've given them the calories, I've done this, I've done that, I've done the other, is very slim, but still, there is always a chance. So if anyone wants their calories working out, anyone wants help, come join my community or join my one-to-one plan. This deal's on for both at the moment. Community's £5 for your first month using code WELCOME, and you get a full calorie breakdown. So you'll know your metabolism, you'll know your maintenance calories, and you'll know your calorie deficit that you should be eating, right? If you feel like you need more help than that, so like Time to Float's there, the weight loss is 2 stone a year is fine. To lose 4 stone is fantastic weight loss. But obviously, Time to Float's questioning things there. She's saying it's hard to count calories. It's hard to bank calories on 1,700, this, that, and the other. If you want those questions answering and you want to do this in a healthy, sustainable fashion, just like Time to Float's coach should be sorting things out with them. They should be, getting involved and going, no, you should be banking calories. Maybe that's not their philosophy. I have no idea. But if it's not, again, they're not very good at what they do. Right? Get on board. My one-to-one plan is 15 quid to sign up at the moment, and you will not pay any more till the end of the month. Right, 15 quid. We'll get you started on Monday. I've got 4 spaces. I've only got 1 client signed up for this Monday coming, so I've got plenty of space to get you going. So come get signed up. TikTok profile, Facebook page, YouTube page. Click on my link tree. You can send over an inquiry form if you just want to touch base with me first and ask me a few questions. Send over an inquiry form, and I'll send you all the details directly. If you're like, no, yeah, I've watched you long enough, Neil. I trust what you're saying. I do need some extra help. Then in my link tree, there's a little shop. Click on the monthly plan. use code SUMMER50 at checkout, right? Use code SUMMER50 at checkout and get signed up to 15 quid. We'll get you on Planner Week today and you'll pay nothing until the end of August. And any issues you might have, we can sort them out for you. Yeah? Right, let me scan down. Your advice has been amazing. Thanks very much. Always very nice getting kind words. I'm 5'4" and 13 stone, walking 7,000 steps daily. How many calories to lose £1 a week, please? 1,400. Again, I don't do free calorie allowances. If you want them, if you want your calories working out for me, the cheapest way is just join my community. It's £5, and it'll answer any questions that you need in terms of calories. If you need a bit more help than that, chuck 15 quid in and come on my one-to-one plan. Yeah. Right. Have I missed anything? No. Let me scan down. I'm going very, very shortly. Guys, I'm going to put in the community the links for this morning's Weight Loss Coaching Live, Self-Sabotage, and for tomorrow's Zoom session, which is at 8:30 a.m. this week. I'm pushing the time back to 10:30 a.m. for the Weight Loss Coaching Live. Doesn't look too bad at the moment. I'm just going to get these doggos out. Where's the other doggo? One's disappeared. One's flat out on the sofa in front of me. I'm going to get 2 dog walks in. So 2 20-minute dog walks and a yogurt bowl in an hour. Sorted. I'm on it. I'll be back at 10:30. And that's it. I'm not back again today. I'm back tomorrow morning just in the community. So again, if you want to join in a live tomorrow, you want to come watch the Weight Loss Coaching Live, come join the community, sign up to the one-to-one plan. You can come and get involved in the extra lives that I do. And they're exclusive just for, like I say, being on plan or in the community. And then the next Facebook, TikTok, YouTube live that we'll be taking part in is, when's that going to be? Thursday morning, 8:30 a.m. And then I'm going to get another one in about 4:05 as well on Thursday. So we'll do 2 on Thursday. But anyway, if you're on Planner in the community, hopefully I'll either see you in an hour or I'll see you tomorrow morning at 8:30. If you're not on Planner in the community, why not? Come get signed up, get some extra help with your journey, and I'll see you guys on Thursday. So TikTok, I'm going to sign off to you first, and I will see you in about an hour if you're on Planner in the community. If not, I'll see you Thursday morning. And then over here, Facebook, YouTube, Facebook people. Again, on Planner in the community, I'll see you in an hour on the Zoom. If not, I will see you Thursday morning, 8:30 a.m. Have a good couple of days.